Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now in today's episode we're going to be finally installing a CF card reader in the $5 Windows 98 PC. This is something that has just been overdue for a very long time. I have talked about doing this in previous videos over the years, and it's also been heavily requested by you guys out there, and well, I just never really got around to it for whatever reason. Other projects got in the way. I mean, you guys know how things go on this channel. But recently, when I was making that video on the Spark drive that I had in storage for like 8 years or however long it was, I discovered that this came included with that. This is a 3.5 inch to 5.25 inch bay adapter, and when I saw this I immediately said, you know what, this would be great for putting a CF card reader on the front of the 98 PC. And that's pretty much what set this whole thing off again. So I finally said I'm gonna follow through on this. I purchased a StarTech CF to IDE adapter from Amazon. I'll have this link down below if you want to go ahead and purchase this for yourself. It was about 25-30 bucks, and it came in this mounting bracket here that you can just slot into a 3.5 inch drive bay, or in this case this adapter, which will then get slotted into a 5.25 inch drive bay. And honestly, I was thinking, because you know I couldn't find a beige one of these mounting brackets, and I was thinking of just spray painting this beige to match the computer, but honestly, like, I think this looks pretty cool. I may decide to paint it later on, we'll see, but just for now I'm going to leave it like this because I don't think that looks too bad. Inside the box you also get this bracket, which you could use to install this just in a slot on the back of your computer if you didn't want it on the front. In this case, I want it on the front because I am going to be swapping these cards out pretty regularly. And that's the really awesome thing about CF cards, because this drive will be replacing the traditional hard drive I've got currently in the 98 PC. And that means that whenever I want to swap whatever operating system I have running on it, I can just swap out the CF card and install a new operating system without having to overwrite the existing drive, you know, whatever operating system I have installed. That's going to really come in handy. In fact, it's almost as easy as checking out today's video sponsor, Linode, who I'll be talking more about later on. But for now, let's go ahead and dive into what else we have in this box. So we've got the Molex adapter so that we can, you know, get power to this thing, which of course is going to come in handy. And we have an instruction manual, so along with the anti-static bag that the drive itself was in. So yeah, now for the CF cards themselves, I went ahead and purchased 3 of these Transcend CF300 4GB industrial CF cards. Now the reason I went with industrial cards is because they allow you to install more versions of Windows on them. They're just more versatile, because if you get a consumer grade card, you won't have a problem installing MS-DOS or any Windows 9X based operating system, but you will experience issues if you're trying to install Windows 2000 or newer, because on Windows 2000 or newer, the operating system will see consumer grade CF cards as removable disks instead of fixed hard drives, which could create problems depending on what operating system and computer you're using. Whereas industrial cards will show up as fixed disks on operating systems before Windows 2000 and after Windows 2000. So yeah, that's why I decided to purchase these industrial cards, because I'm sure I'm going to install Windows 2000 or probably Windows XP on one of these at some point, just to have that so I can easily put XP on the 98 PC whenever I need to. But in this video, we're going to be installing, of course, Windows 98 on one of these, and having this, you know, set as like the primary CF card that's going to be in the system most of the time. Now, I initially thought I could just clone the existing hard drive over to this, and yes, I could do that, but then I said, you know what, why don't we do kind of a last hurrah, because this will hopefully, at least until this card dies, be the last time I have to install Windows 98 on the 98 PC, because once it's installed on this, I can just swap it out whenever I need and just put this back in whenever I want Windows 98 back on the computer. So why don't we go through and do a fresh install from the Gateway Restore CD, and then install all the programs and games that I would typically install on top of a fresh install of Windows 98. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get this drive installed in the 98 PC and get on with it. Alright, so this install should be even simpler than the Spark drive, because I've already got the IDE cable here ready to go and hooked up. So what we're going to do first is take our power adapter here, and we're just going to plug that into the power port on the CF card reader. And there we go, and then we can connect this Molex cable to it once we slot it in. So let's go ahead and slot it in. By the way, I've already got this mounted to the drive bracket, if you were wondering. So we'll do that. Actually, this would be easier to do if I remove the hard drive here from the top. That way I can get a better grip on the cable and, you know, fit my hand further in there. So yeah, we're just going to remove this. This will have to be removed anyways. And yeah, now I can actually reach in here. Oh, and by the way, we don't even really need... yeah, look at that. I should actually use this, because this was the this is the primary IDE master IDE cable here. So I'm going to use this one. And there we go. We've got everything wired in. Now I just need to adjust the adapter bay a little bit so that the screw holes show up, and we need to screw in our screws here. So let me just do that. And would you look at that? Doesn't that look lovely? If the camera will focus. Come on. Come on. Right here. Come on, bro. You can, come on. Focus in. There we go. Doesn't that look lovely? So, yeah. We're all done. Now all I got to do is pop in one of these CF cards. We'll just go with this one here. And I think the seller on eBay that I bought these from did say that they're already formatted with an MS-DOS partition on them, but just to be safe, I'm going to boot into Gparted and configure this disk with a DOS partition, and then we'll boot off of the restore CD and proceed with the Windows 98 installation. Alright, so I've booted here into the BIOS setup utility just so I can give myself enough time to put in the Gparted disk. Let's go ahead and just go to exit here. We do have the boot priority. I mean, I always have it set. CD-ROM, actually it should be floppy CD-ROM and then IDE HDD. So let's just make that CD-ROM. We'll make this floppy, we'll make this CD-ROM, and then this, the IDE hard drive. There we go. So we'll exit saving changes, and let's actually display system messages here, because it should tell us if it found the drive here. Let's see. Yep, hard disk 4.0 gigabyte. Look at that. So that's awesome. So we're going to press escape to continue. I think I usually go other modes, and I do, I think I actually just go into failsafe on this. Today's weird resolution is brought to you by the capture card that I have the video signal split between. Oh my god, what? Okay. So we're just going to, yep, there it is. So it is an NTFS partition. So we're going to go ahead and just go to device here, create partition table, and it's going to say it will erase all data on the entire disk. Yes, we want to apply an MS-DOS partition table. And now we just want to make a new partition, and we're just going to go with FAT32, of course, and just use all of the space on the drive. So we'll confirm that, yes, and we'll close out of that. So we're all done. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop in, well actually I'll just close out of Gparted first here. We'll exit, and we're going to do as it says and remove the live media and pop in our gateway restore CD. You know, it's actually been a while since I've seen this screen, because I have been able to keep Windows 98 on this computer. I think since the beginning of this year. I don't think I've used this computer for any other OS install videos. But yeah, we're just going to do F1 to continue. It always does this. It doesn't detect the drive at first, so we have to hit continue and then say it's a generic IDE CD-ROM, install Windows 98. Alright, that's done. So we just got to remove the drive, restart. Then it'll ask us to put in the 98 install disk. You know, I don't know why I'm explaining this. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. Though I don't know, when was the last time that I recorded the restore process? I know I did a full dedicated video on restoring the 98 PC with this disk. That's when I first found the image of it online. I think somebody sent it to me. That was back in 2019. So yeah, that was a while ago. Which is weird. 2019 doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it was like, what, 4 years ago now? Gosh, time is weird. I know I've said that before, but man. Right on schedule. So I already have the 98 install disk in the drive, so let's hit F1 to continue. Well, for some reason, it's kicked us back to the DOS prompt, so we have to just run setup. Alright, so we are restarting now after what was a completely fine and breezy Windows 98 installation process. And yeah, of course, I'm just kidding. So yeah, we did run into an interesting problem, which is, I feel like, a phrase that I say a lot on this channel. Where for some, well, first of all, the automated setup that I've done a lot, I mean, probably close to 100 times at this point. For some reason that failed, and it just, when setup would start, it would just immediately quit and go back to the DOS prompt. So I just had to launch the setup manually from the Windows 98 CD-ROM. But then the preparing setup dialog box got stuck at 100%. So it got all the way to 100%, and then it just didn't go past that, and I let it sit there for like a good hour or so while I was off doing other stuff, and it kept showing up. I mean, I tried this multiple times, so then I just had to go back and format the drive again and just go through the Windows 98 setup without using the restore disk, and well, that's what we're finishing up now. So what this means is that we're not going to have any of the additional gateway stuff that installs automatically after setup finishes, and it installs a couple of drivers, which of course the display driver that it installs we're not going to be using anyway because we've got a dedicated GPU in this thing that I have a separate driver disk for. And it also installs like Norton antivirus, which I never use. I just never got around to like uninstalling it from here. And I actually mentioned that in, I think it was the Spark video, because that installed a copy of McAfee. So I had Norton and McAfee on this computer at the same time, which just seems like it should be illegal. But so yeah, it's not really a big deal at all. And in terms of the software I'm going to install, we've got Microsoft Revenge of Arcade, we've got Half-Life, the original Half-Life, and we have The Sims. I also have a copy of Microsoft Office 2000 Premium. This is that copy I got for $1, along with that copy of Windows Me that I recently, well, that was like, gosh, late last year. And yeah, no sound, and of course we're running in a very low color mode here, which just looks glorious. But you know what's even more glorious? The cloud computing service is offered by today's video sponsor, Linode. With their Linux-based virtual machines, you can host anything from simple websites to complex applications. And if you've been looking for a provider that has the tools and infrastructure to scale and deploy your project, they've got you covered with a worldwide network of data centers, all equipped with enterprise-level capabilities like load balancers, object storage, and Kubernetes. Plus, with their predictable, no lock-in pricing, you can start small and upgrade to a higher tier in the future if your needs increase. For the past 2 decades, they've been making cloud computing affordable, accessible, and simple, leading both businesses and individuals to trust them with their cloud computing needs. And they'd love to have you try them out. So as a thank you for watching this video, if you sign up for a new Linode account by clicking my link in the video description, you'll receive a 60-day $100 credit to give them a test drive for completely free. So whatever your hosting needs might be, go ahead and check them out. And when you sign up, you'll be helping out the channel too, so thank you. And of course, huge thanks again to Linode for making this episode possible. Okay, so we're going to get out of that, and let's just go straight into my computer, go to Properties, Device Manager, and we got to grab our standard PCI graphics adapter. Go to Driver, Update Driver, and let me pop in the PNY installation disk, and this will come up with an auto run thing, but we don't actually run through that. So yeah, here it is. Just exit CD and display a list of all the devices. I'm going to say have disk, copy manufacturer's files from D drivers Win98, and get this INF file here. And this is an NVIDIA GeForce FX 5200. It's going to yell at me saying it's not. Oh, it's not specifically. Yes, it is. And there we go. All right. Well, it looks like it hasn't applied. What's going on here? Why is this? Windows can initialize the built-in graphics adapter. Oh, even though both of those were labeled as standard PCI graphics adapter, this one apparently was the built-in one, and this is the actual card. Yeah, that's why it came up with that error message saying that this driver is not compatible or not signed or whatever to be compatible with this hardware. It's because it wasn't. That was for the internal it was for the integrated graphics, so yeah. There we go. That's looking much better. Yeah, there we go. So now we're going to grab the network adapter disk, which I've got right here. And this is actually contained in a self-extracting archive. If we go in here, we got to run. This is actually from a Dell computer, but of course it works fine on here because it's the same hardware. So yes, we want to create that. All right. And we get this little instructions document here, which just tells us to go into Device Manager, and we got to find our network adapter. Now, which one is it? Internet connection sharing. You know, oh, it's under other devices. Of course, we have 2 PCI Ethernet controllers showing up here. It could be unknown device as well. We're just going to right-click on this one. Let's see. We're going to display a list of all the drivers. This is a network. Where's network? Network adapters. Have disk. And we're going to copy files from C, Dell, drivers, this, and that. And it's the Etherlink 10100 PCI. And now it needs the Windows 98 second. See, I knew it was going to ask for this again. It always does, at least once. Yeah, let's go. So yeah, that's that's super awesome. So we're online. We've got the display driver. Next up, I'm going to pop in the Gateway Restore CD again to get the sound driver. Because yeah, of course we need to have sound. I mean, what, are you kidding me? So let's hop into here. Oh, that's right. We can just run through. I completely forgot about that. This is a really nice thing about this restoration CD. It just has this little like automated wizard, and you can choose what to install. So let's say I definitely want to get these two, the Windows 98 SE shutdown supplement and the USB hub update. We'll get DirectX 7. We'll get Adobe Reader. And let's go to hardware, and it has detected, although where's the audio? It doesn't, alright, well, we can just grab that, sure. Okay, yeah, now the display adapter showed up. We already got these two, yeah, installed. This didn't show up before, though we don't need it. That's the Intel graphics adapter. So yeah, we're gonna have to just go into here manually. Let's explore this and go into Win95 98 and go into audio, and I don't know which one of these. I know it's not, it's definitely Sound Blaster, or is it Crystal? Oh my gosh, doesn't it sound amazing? It always does. But yeah, so we got the sound driver installed. It wasn't actually one of the creative ones. There was another one on there. I think it was the Bryant driver. But now we can get into the more exciting stuff, and by exciting I mean Microsoft Office, as exciting as that can be. Because yeah, we're going to install this just so I have an Office suite on here if I ever need to, you know, open up a Word document or just throw together a spreadsheet, because, you know, this is the perfect computer for doing that. Oh, that was... well, it started to play the Microsoft sound, and then it just gave up. But yeah, we'll just run through here. Alright, so just like that, we're done with the Office 2000 installation. And you know, one thing that I want to do is run Crystal Disk Mark, because I would like to benchmark this drive. We don't have DMA mode turned on. I've got that off right now. I'll turn that on in a minute. I did not do that when I installed the SSD in this computer back in 2021, and a bunch of people in the comments said, hey, you should have turned on DMA mode, and I was like, oh yeah, I probably should have. Yeah, I did not do that in that video, so the hard drive and SSD benchmarks were pretty much the same. In fact, they were like identical. So what we're going to do is run, I've pulled up the Crystal Disk Mark results from that video for the hard drive, and we're going to run the program on here with DMA mode turned off and on the CF card, and we'll see how it compares, because I'm just really curious. So first thing we have to do is make a network share, and we should be able to go to sharing, shared as, net share, full access, no password, and okay. And so now if I hop over to check this out, boop, oh my gosh, we're on the capture PC. We should be able to do that. And I think I have this as 98 PC. Yes, there it is. So we're going to go into our net share, and I've got the files right here. We're just going to copy this over to there. And yeah, much easier than burning a CD, right? Although we do lose the authentic experience of doing so. So that's copied over. We'll go here and copy this over to the desktop. And now let's just run this, and let's do all, and we'll see what results that we get. I'm very curious. All right, so taking a look at the results here, the scores are pretty comparable to what we saw in the SSD video for both the traditional hard disk and the SSD scores. What we are going to do though is we're going to open up my computer, or rather go to properties, and we're going to enable DMA mode on this disk drive here. So we'll go to properties, settings, and we'll enable DMA, and we're going to say yes. Or okay, rather, okay, and will probably tell us, yep, we need to restart. Alright, yeah, it's not even funny how much better this is. I mean, we went from... I mean, here's the old scores next to the new ones. I mean, yeah. So, pro tip, enable DMA mode if you're using any sort of, like, solid-state storage. Also, make sure to use an 80-wire IDE cable. That was another suggestion. A lot of people said, hey, is that IDE cable you're using 40 or 80 wire? The one in here is 80 wire right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and install the 3 games. We'll start with Microsoft Revenge of Arcade. A really nice collection of some old arcade games, though personally I much prefer the, oh, what was it? It was Return to Arcade. Yeah, that was the one that had Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, or I think it was the original Pac-Man. It was one of the two. You had Galaga and Galaxian. You had... But you do have Miss Pac-Man on here, along with some other... You've got Mappy as well, which I never played Mappy in an arcade, but I did. I think I played on, like, MAME or something at some point. But anyway, we'll just install... Turn that down a little bit, and yeah, continue. I accept, and we'll install. This is a very graphical installer. I don't know if I've installed this before, have I? Yes, we want to create the directory. Oh my, look at it. This is kind of eye-straining to look at, I'm going to be honest. I mean, just the way it's like... I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I do like the design, but at the same time, I mean, you can barely read this text here. It kind of almost blends into the to the background. So, yeah, but we'll get this installed, and we're not going to bother with the online registration. We'll hit continue, and then there you go. So you got all your games here. And, I don't know, you want to do a quick round of Miss Pac-Man? Why not? Do you have to have the disc? I'm curious if you have to have the disc in here. That's going to be really annoying if you do. But, you know, I think you might have to. Let's find out. The disc has been removed. Let's go to Microsoft Games, Miss Pac-Man. Oh, you don't. Okay, so that's at least something. I don't know if that was like some sort of copy protection thing that they would have. But yeah, so here it is. Oh yeah, it tells us to set it to 256 color for optimal performance in a maximized window. But that's fine. We're not going to bother doing that. So you hit what? Enter? Or you just do game reset. Or, oh, credit. You want to do F2. Yeah, we don't want to reset the whole game. Alright, F2. There we go. Push start, which is enter. Or start is, one player start F3. Oh, I had the audio too far down. Alright. It's been a while since I've played Miss Pac-Man, though I have been playing some Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus lately, which is a really great Pac-Man game for those who have... It's very different than, than traditional Pac-Man, but it is fun to play every once in a while. I tend to just go for the dots instead of really trying to chase the ghosts around. But if a ghost happens to be in the way, I can grab this one here too, yeah. Because it's good to eat the ghosts because, you know, you get those points. Woo, look at that. I'm not going to play through, like, a whole game here, or, like, until I die, because, well, that's going to take a little while. Not to brag. I mean, I'm not saying I'm, like, a super pro Pac-Man player or anything, but I can definitely last a decent amount of time. I think we'll call it after this here, because, I mean, Pac-Man gameplay can only be so... look at that. Look, I walked right into that one. Yeah, let's go ahead and install The Sims, which I've never actually played this version of The Sims. I'm just incredibly excited about this. I mean, these CF cards are going to open up so much potential and really just make making videos with this computer a lot easier, because now I can just easily swap out the 98 card with one of these. If I want to install another operating system, I could have an old version of Linux on one of these if I ever want to do some old Linux content. It's just, I mean, I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. I think it was just, I don't know, a combination of other projects and it not being much of a priority, which just happens. I mean, I just kind of bounce back and forth between whatever I'm most interested in tackling at a particular time period, and I guess I wasn't super interested in doing this, but I feel like I should have been, because, like, holy cow, I mean, this is just really exciting. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get some of those Geek and Spiel recreation case badges that he sent me a little while back. Thank you very much again, Geek and Spiel. That whole thing actually started because I purchased some from his eBay page, and then he saw my video and then mailed me, like, I think every badge that he had at the time, which was really awesome of him. Oh, it's asking us to update DirectX. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. So I've got some extra, like, Windows 98, you know, designed for Windows 98 badges. I'm going to stick one of those on the back of the card that's in the computer now, just so I can keep track of which one has 98 on it, and then maybe I'll put XP on this one. Yeah, it's just going to be really awesome. So, yeah, thanks again, Geek and Spiel, for those stickers. That was really kind of you. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen that video, I made that. That was back in 2021. Geek and Spiel has an eBay store where he sells these recreation case badges that say designed for Windows 95, 98, etc. I mean, there's a bunch of them. He even has some, like, he's got one that says Cyberdyne. He's got one with HAL 9000 on it. Like, they're just really cool. I actually have some of them on my main computer. But yeah, so I would definitely recommend checking out his stuff if you have an old computer that's missing a case badge. He's got some pretty good, you know, recreations of them. So, yeah, we'll log in here. And I want to make a shortcut on the desktop for The Sims, so let's do that. We'll do 800 by 600, and just create that on the desktop. Thank you for letting me know that it's going to be placed on the desktop. Really appreciate that. Because, yeah, I am running this at 800 by 600 now, I believe. Yes, I am. I usually run it at this instead of 1024 by 768 because it just shows up better on video, because 1024 by 768 is, you know, everything looks a little bit smaller. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and take out The Sims, and our last game we're going to install is, of course, the original Half-Life, which I have installed on this computer before. I have played a little bit of it on video before. We're probably not going to get to the gameplay today, but not that I'm opposed to doing a Half-Life playthrough. That would be kind of cool, though I don't know how many people would watch that. I would assume not a lot, because, you know, it's kind of gaming stuff. This is a vintage tech channel, though it is vintage, you know, it's vintage gaming, right? So that's close enough, right? But yeah, of course the digital WAV file is going to play just fine. Oh, we gotta turn this up now. Gosh, yes, we heard the sound file. You know, I say that, and then, I mean, that Minecraft video that I did of me opening up my old Minecraft world after 10 years, that one did really well. I think it's close to 1 million views now, which is, like, freaking nuts. That one, like, blew up. Of course, then the Minecraft video I did after that, was like one of the worst performing videos. It's like, that's the thing, it's kind of hard sometimes to figure out like what people want, because I mean, like with the OS Ton stuff, for instance, you guys remember that that I was, you know, I did that saga a little while back. The first two videos, the Windows 7 and Windows 8 OS Ton stuff, did extremely well, and I'm like, oh, okay, people want this stuff. I'm going to buy more. I'm going to do more videos. And I purchased more stuff, and every video I've made after those two has performed pretty poorly. So, you know, it's like you have to find this balance when you're like making videos of like stuff that interests people, but you can't do too much of it to where people get bored of it. At least is how I perceive things, because that's just what seems to happen. If you do too much of one thing, people get bored, and then they're like, is this all you're going to talk about now, is like this OS Ton stuff? And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's not all. I did like 5 videos or whatever on it. Like, it's not replacing the regular stuff on the channel. I just thought it was cool, guys. Like, that's all. I just thought it was neat. I just wanted to try something a little different, that's all. And yeah, maybe we'll do like some more of that stuff. But anyway, the same thing happened with the Minecraft video, because I did a second video of exploring my server, very similar format to the first one, and it didn't really do super well. Of course, it still got views and people still watched it, and look, I'm always thankful for that. Even if a video performs like pretty poorly, you know, ranked against the other videos that I've uploaded previously, it's still awesome that people watch my stuff. I mean, just like that feel, you know, 5 people, 10 people watching my stuff is nuts to me. And so I know I'm kind of getting like off topic here, but we're almost to the end of the video anyway. So let me just say thank you to anybody who has ever watched my stuff, ever. Even if you've seen like one video of mine and you didn't like it and you wanted to like go watch something else, whatever. You know, I thank you for spending your time watching my stuff. I really appreciate it. And it means a lot, you know, and I would, you know, love to hear feedback from you guys about kind of, you know, what videos that you want to see. I always love getting video suggestions, even though I can't possibly do everything because, you know, I'm one person. But yeah, so we have an updated DirectX version, and we're not going to bother connecting to the internet to check for updates. That's fine. Please register now. No thanks. I don't think I will. I'm going to register later. Goodbye. Not that the registration would actually go through anyway. And select components. Please ensure you're running latest drivers. And you know what? Sure, we'll launch Half-Life, and maybe we'll just start going through the opening sequence to end off the video. Oh, we got to enter the key. Of course we do. Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh. God, the old Sierra logo. And the old Valve logo. I mean, yeah, that's what they are. I don't know why I felt the need to announce them, but they're cool, man. Let's just do medium. And yeah, basically, we're just going to end off the video to us going through the going through the Black Mesa transit system here. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I am incredibly excited about just what this enables me to do. I mean, not that it really enables anything new, because like I could still install operating systems on the other hard drive that I had in here, but it just makes it so much easier, like I said, because I can just swap these out. I can have like Windows XP or some other operating system installed in here if I ever want to just pop that in. The Windows XP, I think, requires like 1.25 gigabytes of minimum hard drive space, and with this being a 4 gig drive, you know, I can still install it on there, but I'll have to be careful with what programs I install. I couldn't load it up with a bunch of stuff. Not that I would, but yeah, there you have it, guys. That wraps it up for finally installing a CF card reader in the $5 Windows 98 PC. I'm super excited. I know I've already said that, but I'm going to say it again. This is going to be really awesome. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to give it a thumbs up, get subscribed, all that good stuff. And as always, I will see you all in the next video.